Hello everyone, we are starting a little early today. We will be playing some of Teddy's Haven, a cozy little fantasy shop game that I found. I cannot remember how I found it, but I do know it was absolutely adorable. I've played quite a few of it, so it isn't a first time, but it is a great time. Now, let's get into it. Okay. So there will be mounts, among other things. Ooh, I just realized I don't have my audio set up for me. There we go. I will turn the music off. As much as I do absolutely adore it, it has an amazing soundtrack, and apparently a gigantic dragon. Normally he's over there. Hi. Yep. Cool. This is our save crystal. Now, we are gonna set our shop up and do some simple things, but one thing I'm going to do is something that they don't tell you anything about, which is you can harvest your own materials. I will also grab the cats while I can. You can also get like little fairies that follow you around and all that, but as far as I'm aware, they don't do anything yet. So I'm not going to worry about them while I'm playing with you guys. But some of the stuff you can do is like gather materials from certain creatures and things of that nature. We will be going full kilter, especially because if I've learned anything on my first playthrough, it's that I did not do any justice to it, and I could do so much better. Yes, I can be gathering materials on this little expedition, but as it currently stands, I am going to go to this big guy. So, I will skip the dialogue. It isn't something I normally do, especially because I want to show off the game. But if you want to see what the guys actually are saying, all you have to do is get the game, and I can almost promise you, if you like little cozy games that aren't doing anything crazy, this is the game for you. There are a lot of things you can do in this game. Here's a little secret. You also see a little pixie here, but we'll take one RAM out of the computer. And then we're going to come back here, do a little bit of mining. As you'll see, a whole bunch of things kind of work off that, but our main objective was to get that RAM, because RAM, I believe it sells for like $80 or something obscene like that. And that is going to help so much. It is something you get every day, so it's basically a free $80 every day. I am going to gather the cats, because as you probably know from all the gamer kitty stuff, I enjoy cats. We'll So this is a trick I learned, which is if you wave your hand, you can harvest everything just by doing that. The audio does get a little loud during the waterfalls. So the main thing is that we're going to be going for is something tucked away over there. I believe we'll be getting scales from a dinosaur, and we will be getting some royal pieces, which I have to guess is a joking reference to Princess Peach, but it could not be. Honestly, I don't know. But I like to think it might be. There are a lot of things you can do to get buffs and bonuses. And I'm going to at least attempt to do that on this playthrough. So, if it feels like it slows down just a little too much, I might call it early and we can do some Transport Fever in about an hour, but knowing this game, I might get a little absorbed. Honestly, I do have that problem with this game. I do find it interesting that, like, nothing wants to hurt you. Like, you are able to get all the things you want. And yes, I do know where to get stuff like Out of Boundsium, which is a joking ore that basically you get by going out of bounds at a game. Royal Peach. There's also no fall damage, which I'm very thankful for because I use that way more than I should. Another interesting thing that you will find with this is there are seasonal things, like different berries during different seasons. With my current playthrough, I am in summer, and the apple trees that are behind the house, which we will be going to in a moment, actually changed to a different type of apple, which does not make sense in real life, but in video game it makes perfect logic. And we do want enough to keep everything restocked, because the first few days we're basically doing everything on our own, which makes things a little bit difficult. Not that bad, but it is medieval fantasy, so you will be finding a lot of things where you're just sitting there going, wait, what? That doesn't make sense. No one would ever pay that amount. Yes, they would. It's medieval, and people can't count. Plus, you know, you're thinking too hard about it. It's a game. Autosave every 5 minutes. Yep. We will also probably be building those things. I don't know if... So I know the one says, like, oh, you get one extra customer the more you build into this. I don't know if that is everything or just that, but... I'm going to take my time, try to do it right. Hi. The other reason why I'm, like, dealing with all the critters is if you do it, you build up more skill level, and the more skill level you have, the faster you do stuff and the more you get out of it. That's also why I'm using this method of just swiping back and forth and getting everything. I do apologize if it makes anyone motion sick, but it works really well for upping your skills very quickly. Like, harvesting's almost all the way to level 5, and once I grab these, it will be. Watch. I believe that now makes it so I pick up 2 of everything. Now, I have not gotten to a point where I pick up more than 2. I know that you can technically get more than 2 when you like pick up some bonuses, but other than that, as far as I'm aware, what is this? Oh, that's that little tree that I don't know if it does anything. But again, I haven't seen anything more than the bonus 2s without extra stuff. Also, for anyone who has milked a cow, they know that it's not how you milk a cow. And we will leave that at that. Also, the water is solid. You are Jesus, I guess. You walk across it. Don't know why, but it is very convenient because you're not looking for a boat or anything like that. You just kind of do it. Also, notice how I'm flying. So if you hit space while jumping, which I will openly admit I did not notice until very late on when I first started playing this, it will basically let you float in the air from one space to another, which makes it very easy to get to certain areas that you normally would not have access to. The dragon's blood I will pick up while I'm here, specifically because it is useful for some stuff later on. And eventually, when you're turning enough profit, you will not really have to worry too much. But until then... Okay, guys, everybody come in the house. Okay. The guys who, for some reason, just warp up onto the house. And the only reason I'm doing that way is because I feel bad when they get pulled up onto the roof and then, you know, it rains, because I've got cats of my own, and the thought of them cold and out there, just, nah, I can't. Something I did learn, if you knock the fruit off trees, even though it says it will pick up random things, it will not pick up the fruit from the ground. At a certain point, the guy's gonna fall out of the tree and give me a whole bunch of apples. No idea why. But he seems perfectly fine to give me apples after I knock him out of the tree. Hey, bud. Hi. You good? Yep. Yep. And... okay. Here's the main thing I will say. Do not light the candle that is in your house that starts the day until you are ready. Specifically because... one, if you don't have everything ready, you're out of it. Also...
Woo! I'm free! God, it was so dull in there. Now I'm shiny.
Yep. Talking rock. I have to assume that's a reference to something that I am somehow missing. But for right now, I will move on, because I don't believe she has... So, like, she has other lines, but it's mostly lines about, hey, can you stop clicking on me? And I'm good with that. There are a couple other little joking things going about, but that's a big part of the majority of it. This is an absolutely adorable game. And let me go here, and I will place my RAM. Market price, confirm. I'm sorry. I'm going to make you 70. And the reason I'm going to do that is normally I get 80 for that. So, A, I'm a little upset about that. And B, also, you don't seem to have a body, not that I'm aware of. But B, the other reason is... it is a bit of a pain to get every day, so getting the most out of it is important. Then a weapons rack. And a fruit. So, Book of Summoning. I'm going to be honest, I've never gotten daggers before. So, I will get them for this one. Then we will come here. We want the peaches. And this. And I do believe we don't have enough peaches to fill an entire shelf, but that's fine for now. Because that is literally cheaper than that by a massive margin. Now, the other trick I'm going to do is how far can I take this? Oh, no one's going to like that. So if I do 25, 2, confirm. And the reason I'm doing this way is specifically so that it makes change easy. Because change, it will be your enemy. Change will be your absolute nightmare. And you can see, you can buy a whole bunch of products and stuff. It is actually not that useful for you to handle that way. Yeah, I believe I'm going to sell berries. Go here, and we're going to do 2 more food displays. Do not underestimate the power of food. It is a very cheap thing, but it is basically free money, I guess the easiest way to explain it is. Goes back, so I have them when I need them. And it does have a very interesting mechanic, which is for $200, you can change the market value of stuff. The problem I have with that is, as far as I can tell, I believe it is random. I have not tried, I have not guessed, and I very much would not want to find out the hard way. Let's get the rest of our berries out. Market price. 25. Okay, so if I do $1, you're fine. Market price, 50. You won't do that. So 25. Gonna make you $1. And you $1. And yes, I am losing a small amount of coin doing this. However, you will see it gets very out of hand very quickly if you're not paying attention. If you're buying stuff from the book, absolutely get as much money out of it as you can. But when you're selling from your own stock, you really, really want to make sure that you are not beating yourself up over it. Especially because at the end of the day, it's your shop. Treat it how you want it. I think we're going to go for a nice little rustic look. So we're either going to do this, or we're going to end up with a nice green at a point. When I first played, I was so worried about money, I never would have painted this early. But now, having played a few times, it's not the scariest thing. Wait for your customers. You might find some berries or stones to harvest outside. Yeah, that was a thing that I freaked out and didn't have enough time because I, didn't know what I was doing. And immediately became one of those things of, oh, now I know what I'm doing. And then as soon as I got the whole thing self-sufficient, I immediately then never left the shop when it was running because I was always worried that I was going to run out of a resource. Hello, welcome to my shop. And you're immediately spending $70. It's the only thing you're getting. So, see what I mean? Now, most stuff's relatively easy to do. Oh, wow. So, when I played the first time, what are you... okay, I did it to myself. By getting the bonus of like 10%, somehow that has given me change. But yeah, you can get giraffe, sheep, not sheep, well, you might get sheep, I don't know. But you get this little goat, you get geese. Ooh. There we go. Yay, increased profit. Doesn't really help now that I've cashed out the expensive stuff, but hey. As you can see, people pay weird amounts. Like, when I worked retail, if someone just handed me coins to create random amounts of change, I'd be very upset. Like, even if it is my job, why are you intentionally making my job harder? And you notice we've made quite a nice little profit. The best part, we didn't have to spend any of our money to do it. Because normally, you start basically broke. Like, you can hire the Earth Wisp to keep stuff running. Sort of inventory. Like, a lot of it's nice, but at the end of the day, you're paying to unlock access to some stuff that you may not even care about. So you have to be careful there. Don't get me wrong. More products to sell is more money in your pocket. But until you have cashiers, it's not where you want it to be. And also, once I have cashiers, this is at level 2. Yeah, once you have cashiers, do whatever you want. Like, make sure you're making the most profit from your stuff. Because you're not the one checking them out. Just make sure you turn the scroll off when you do. Because otherwise, people will still come to... And management, hire. There for now. Close that. I have now made a profit. Display. We'll also hire the restocking wisp, and the reason we do that is once everything is self-sufficient, you're no longer fighting over, you know... I do apologize about the noise. Unicorn, very loud, but it's the only time you really get these. And later on, when you're making custom fruits and, well, not fruits and vegetables, but custom vegetables, having access to them does help. Great. At level 10, when you can set it so that when you purchase something, it just goes straight into the endless bag, and then your staff can take care of it on their own without you having to interfere. The other thing I'm going to do is add an extra chandelier, because I like being able to see. Now, I will rearrange some of this as soon as the day is done. But until that point, we're just gonna carry on. Actually, yeah. That's one of the things I should have technically gotten, but I didn't. Making jams immediately brings so much money in. Those are okay, but the jams are honestly where it's at. Like, that's always made me the most money beginning. That's because you make royal jam, and you are basically set. Now, if I'm lucky, I will have enough money for it come the morning. Or before morning. Because everything is kind of done as a end of the day kind of thing. So my bills don't show up until tomorrow and don't have to be paid till the end of day tomorrow. Now, the problem I do have is I don't have anything I will be making this jam. Only because it's a bit of a standard when you first start. And that's my new little checkout buddy. And this is, you know, how it works. When we come in tomorrow, that will convert to jam, get put in our bag of storage. That we won't need for a while because it's exceedingly expensive. Absolutely useful, but exceedingly expensive. We go to bed. And now we do the fun thing called getting bills. Now, I don't remember when you unlock the map. I know it shows up at a point. What that is, no clue. Yep. Here is... Okay, I'm gonna do a single shelf. And the reason we're going to do a single shelf, stuff lines up better. Now, confirm, market price, confirm, market price, confirm, market price. Now, that, I'm going to bring it back up to 70. 70, thank you. Oh, that was market price. That's fine. Confirm, 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 and confirm. Go into my inventory. There's probably a few things I can put there. Now, I don't have the cheese maker, but I do have access to milk. Now, it might sound silly, but milk is a relatively easy thing for you to come by. One of the other things that I believe is relatively easy to come by is all the ores and the like crystals. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put these green crystals out. Just because we have to go to the turtle dragon thing every day to get our RAM. And that's a bunch of money that's basically just hanging around for free. The other thing I can get is eggs, which we will be getting. When we come back, we will go get our jam yet again. And let's just grab some milk while we're on our way. And one of the things you need to do, which is, it sounds silly, but it absolutely is a big part of the game, is look around. Because if you see something crazy that doesn't make sense, odds are it gives you a bonus. No idea how that works, but it does. I know most, not all, of the things. The one I haven't seen yet is apparently over there, I think, or over there, a giant squid forms. that is a bit of a pain in the butt to get to because you have to run off screen for quite a while. This is an adorable little memorial that hurts my heart every time I see it. So you can drop gifts at the altars and it gives you basically gem crystals you can use for decoration. It is not the most impressive thing, but they are nice. You can change the scale and it basically acts like free colored lighting. So the Wumbletuff and stuff like that you use to turn into thread. I have not yet seen if there's anything you do with it after that, but I have to assume at some point it gives you something to do with them. One of the other things that's a little further down is you can make alcohol and spirits by mixing honey with any kind of fruit. At least in the beginning, the royal spirits pay some of the best. At least in the beginning, the royal stuff, it pays some of the best, but not always, because again, a lot of the numbers are random. I know I had like normal, I think they are soul apples or something like that, or sun apples, actually ended up with a higher price point than royal in my last play of it. Okay, so I have to get to 5 in order to upgrade that. Let me just intentionally mine. And the reason I'm doing this is because the crystals are actually worth quite a bit. So getting the double bonus from them actually is very useful. Let's see, how close am I? Actually, I am not very close, so not quite worth it just yet. There are a few places that I would probably have to go do some mining. Ooh. Oh. And by doing mining, I will have acquired the stone needed to do some of the external stuff. When you have 500 stone, which seems like a lot right now, but it builds really quick. Once you have 500 of it, you can start using it on special projects. And then I believe the town square is 750. So you go through stone very quickly, at least in the beginning, and then later on you get a little guy that can turn stone into ore and crystals. They don't say that part. That is a silent part. It does crystals as well. And that is a massive, massive change. Because as soon as you can make your own crystals, there are some crystals, like you saw with the unicorn, that only show up under certain conditions, and that is a bit of a pain in the butt. But if you have 1,000 stone and a couple minutes to sit there and wait, you can convert that into a bunch of different stuff. And with that being some of those crystals you normally have a hard time getting. You would only get one at a time, or at least in the beginning, but still, it is absolutely one of the more useful things. There we go. Yeah, the crystals are really, really useful. You can basically make elemental tier of vegetables that are valued differently depending on which they are. Some vegetables are just generally higher priced than others. I believe... You don't know if... Ooh. I don't know if some of it's like set in stone based off the original thing. So like, the prices may vary, but it'll vary based off whatever the original thing was. So it's like, oh, fresh, basically fresh carrots are worth 10% more or whatever than normal carrots, which is great, and then it's worth X number more if they're golden carrots or any other type of carrots. I have to wait for it to rain because then a water elemental shows up here, and it's the only elemental I don't think I've seen yet aside from the octopus that just sits in the mountains because there are a bunch of little itty-bitty things in this, and again, this whole game is just a nice long time. Like, it's cute, it's cozy, it reminds me a bit of Stardew Valley, but not pixelated, and, you know, three-dimensional, gives you that, just like a little extra, if that makes sense. Royal fruit. Royal peaches, sorry. The other reason I'm gathering all these berries, even though I'm not gathering as many as I could, the whole reason I'm gathering them when I see them is when the season changes, some of them will go away until the next year, and I very much don't want to run out of certain things because they are just generally valued higher, and having them in the shop will make you money. Eventually you will run out of stock, that's just how it is. Not if you are diligent, because for the most part, especially when you start getting some of the bonuses, you end up with a lot of materials very easily. But again, you end up out of stock of something, and you don't always have time to run out and restock in the middle of the shopping day, because you run out and then, oh, there was something else I could have gotten that I didn't know I needed. Granted, if you're on top of your inventory, you can beat the odds and generally come out on top. The game really doesn't punish you. Nowhere near as bad as a lot of other games that are just like, oh, you didn't perfectly execute this, there goes all your funds. Well, yeah, right now I've got 56 cents to my name, but I've got 56 cents to my name and the ability to just have a very obscene amount of money. Especially now that I can make some peach jam. Bloodberries. You'll run into a lot of stuff called blood and all that. No idea why some of it is, but it is. There's the other fairy. So if I get a bounce pad, I could go to the giant gem, and I believe every day you can get 1,000 credits for going to it. If you set up zip lines and stuff like that, you can make it a much easier experience. However, it can get very tiring very quickly. So it would not be for the faint of heart. Ooh. Oh. However, if you were ever coming up on bills and you just happen to have a bounce pad, I cannot stress enough that that will save you. Now, I know you can do it multiple times. I do not know the time between. I'm just assuming, which as everybody knows is a terrible idea in the first place, that you can get away with doing it that way. Every day. It could be completely fiction. It could be you can only do it once a season, once a week, once a year. Honestly, no idea. I just know that I got 1,000. Hold on. Sorry about that. I just know from my personal experience, I gave 1,000 when I went there the first time, and I've heard that subsequent times have paid out, but as far as I could tell, it didn't happen when I did it twice in a row right away, so I would have to believe that it's actually based off of the day changing over and not just you attempting to farm credits over and over and over again. I will at some point have to get out of Bountium, only because you can make quite a bit of stuff with it. Okay, let me check the inventory. Anything I have that I need. Royal peaches. Make us royal jam. Also, please. So that's making me 7. The scales. Let me see, because I believe that is what, $2. I thought I made. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Worth more. Not quite as easy to renew, but they are, again, worth more. Day started. This is your trash can. Kind of useful. Okay. while that's going on, let me grab some green whistle apples and clear out the berries. Do a proper save. Oh, never thought about that. Honestly, haven't tried. That's neat. As far as I'm aware, nothing bad really ever happens while your shop's open except running out of products, so going out and just getting stuff while you're out and about while the shop's running isn't a bad thing. As far as I'm aware, your people will get full price for everything, plus your advantages while you're out exploring. I would highly recommend, though, if you're gonna do anything, make sure your shop's pre-set up so that stuff gets taken care of while you're out and about. Hi, yes, yep, I knocked you out of the tree again. More apples, please. If you are making like apple jams or something, it is absolutely essential to set up your called your auto harvest obelisk just near this field, because this will always keep you heavily stocked. Just you get so many apples from it. So if you're doing like apple jam and apple whiskey or spirits, you won't run out of stock even with all this. That is the first time I've ever got 2. That's kind of cool. Yes, I know you just climbed back in. Unfortunately, I knocked you out again, but it does mean that I've just gained a whole bunch. The fruit trees are also amazing when you've got the bonus that makes it so that, like, each individual one picks up 5. It gets out of hand very quickly and makes it very, very easy to keep stuff in stock. That there. Our gram sold. And if you look, standard bill paying. Right now, not a lot of my stuff is worth any massive margins. So, you know, we're not going to take off. But again, that extra 70 every day almost, just that covers so much. Come on, give me a sword from the stone. Come on, I know you can do it. Okay, gonna leave that alone before I go down. This little guy will tell you like patch updates and stuff. Kind of useful. This is the 20 popper. There are achievements tied to this. Because I've already got them, they should not pop up. Which is a good thing, because Steam has been very loud as of late. Well, I'm going to pay all of our bills. That's cute, but honestly, the Order of the Gardening is your best friend. And it won't even show the next level of Order of the Gardening until, if I'm not mistaken, you have the first. It's kind of cool. There's a lot of cute things involved. The 200 for the expansion, is actually really, really important because you don't get more customers until you expand. So, if you're going to take a loan out, I would recommend taking a loan out so that you can expand. It basically helps you pay it off very, very quickly. But if you look, here are the carrots, the bulbs, and the spuds. Eventually you can grow them yourself, which is absolutely necessary if you want to make money. Come on, give it to me. Aha! So yeah, proof you can get it. No idea what the globe does. You can't click on it, and I really don't want to accidentally click on the candle a second time. I don't think it does anything, but I also don't trust it. Also, you can put all this out there. Like, you don't have to have, like, you're not confined to the actual store, but you also will not have that many customers until you expand. I'm going to spend the money on the expansion. And then paint. You know what? Let's take paint out. Okay, kind of like, yeah, that paint. So much better. Not quite as moody. Also reminds me, I'll go in here, decoration, get some light. Here's one of the things you can do. You can go into fine detail mode. You can also, like, you can increase what you can do very, very easily. This game is very much not a limiting game. Like, the limits tend to be closer to your imagination than you might think. That there. Not absolutely necessary, but makes stuff nice and cozy. Now, I always like to use this area right here for, like, the behind the register, taking care of things. I turn this almost always into a little area for produce. One thing I want to make sure I'm careful of, I want to make sure I am making enough money to support what I'm doing. That is something that happens every now and again, and you do not want to ignore it. because star shards are used again in a lot of crystal recipes, which helps with your farming and just about everything else. Not to mention, when you're not using it for farming, you can convert it into just straight crystal and then sell it, and that is absolutely a boon. Still no mounts. As silly as it sounds, the mounts are really convenient for getting around. Okay, I hear rain. That is absolutely a great thing, and there's our map. And if you look, this guy shows up to tell you, hey, give the mounts a try. Yes, as you can tell, they make life so much easier. Basically, fly around and get all kinds of stuff done. But you otherwise couldn't get to, you can. Honestly, without even the bounce pad, I think with the mount, I can actually make it from the thing. Let's see. Hi. You worry me. Yep. Welcome, by the way. Increase profit. Basically stacking this stuff like that is how you make obscene amounts of money. Eight, 3, 4, and the main reason I'm picking up more of that is that we do have for sale. Sorry. Unfortunately, me, the little one, and my wife all have colds, so we have not been doing as great as we could be, given the nature of the cold. Yep. Now, you can teleport from anywhere home, so I'm not really worried about what I'm about to do. The thing I'm more worried about is wasting time. As much as I don't want to waste time, I also know that a 3,000 is nothing to sniff at. Especially in this game, just later on, even if you're making pretty decent money, 1,000 creds without any loan is absolutely amazing. It's basically just like limitless expansion. Oh, here we go. This is out of boundium. It's not useful right now, but it will be. But yeah, this is gonna be, so it takes a while, it really does. But one, you guys have me to talk with you on the way, and two, which is kind of the important thing, is I have a mount, and mounts basically double your speed at walking, which doubles your speed in the air. Which means you may not need the bounce pad to make it. You could. I honestly don't know. I had to use a bounce pad last time, but I had to use a bounce pad because I did not have a mount to get me out here. As you can tell, like, the game is not happy about you being out here, but you quite literally get achievements for doing it, so it's not like it's something they don't want you to do. It's kind of like one of those, oh, don't do this thing. Oh, here's a cookie for doing it, though. Let me turn the volume down on the game. For you guys, it is probably very loud. Again, bunch of stuff out of bounds, but still, it persists. And I believe that does change colors with the weather and all that, so... Now, whether this is eventually gonna not be out of bounds and gonna have stuff, I have no idea. The game is already bigger than I originally anticipated when I first started playing. And honestly, it is not just adorable, but it is worth killing a few hours to just, you know, sit it, have some fun, feel good. I do believe there is a bit of a sad story behind how this game came to be. I have not actually gone in to look it up beyond what I already knew, because I've never been one to like having sad stories behind stuff I'm doing, so... Like, again, not only is nothing wrong with it, but it is an absolutely gem of a game that, I would not have thought existed if I wasn't playing it right now. It reminds me of a lot of simulator games, but honestly, it goes so much further, because you end up making some of your own products. Not a lot, not as far as I'm aware. I haven't completed this even remotely. Like, I know you can melt down your own metal bars, but does that mean that you can make your own weapons? I don't know. I feel like it would be a great thing if you could, but whether you can or not, I'm unsure. Let's see if I can do this. I think with the mount, it will work. Yep. Living on tender moments. There is a free 1,000. Now, to test, I will go back and do it again. Maybe I'll do it again tomorrow. See if it is a daily thing. But since I'm already here, I might as well try it one more time to see if it's just something that you can farm over and over again. If so, it is a really, really good way to get started if you are doing a second playthrough. Or if you're just, you know, having a hard time getting your feet wet with it. And, you know, just want a little bit of an easier experience. Again, I don't think it'll give it to me 2 times in one day. Yeah, because at this point I would have already had it. So, we go teleport home, and now we're home. As easy as that. Yes, the mounts do make working in the shop a little bit difficult because you are bouncing all over the place, but... Let's see, 10 plus 15 plus 15 plus harvested fruit. Harvested fruit is absolutely a great thing. Let's get this, go here, pay off my bills, and then go to expansions and expand again. And again, the reason we are spending money like that, even though it's a bit reckless, is because at the end of the day, the expansions increase your foot traffic. And more foot traffic means more money, no matter what, because if someone enters your shop, as far as I can tell, they will buy something. So even if it's, you know, not a billion more, it's going to be something more. And that is absolutely really, really useful. So we're going to do extra jam. And the reason we're going to do extra jam is because I'm going to want to do apples. And I think we're out of the peaches. So we're going to have to go get more before we start our day. And the best part about it is we have that bonus. So when I go here, that's 5, 10, 15, just for that. And as you saw, these sell pretty well and are very easy to get your hands on. It also helps because I believe it increases your harvesting, but I'm not sure if it increases it any more than just the standard amount. Hi, you will be giving me an obscene amount today. Yep, absolutely. Have a nice day. Now, I'm not sure if the obelisk of harvesting actually helps here, but I did just realize that if I play my cards right, after 3 days, I can buy an obelisk of harvesting, which will increase everything exponentially because you're not harvesting stuff yourself. And that makes a massive difference. Now, the biggest problem you run into is stuff like the peaches are so far away, you cannot overlap them. And like this peach tree is so far away from everything that you probably only get a handful of other resources when you're trying to get this caught up in it. But the royal peaches will serve you for a very, very, very long time. So do not underestimate them. I believe now I can take the one green crystals out of circulation and save them, because with this much extra pieces, I should be set for a little while. Because every tree is giving me 20 pieces. And I do know there's apparently pieces like buried around there that you just can't access. They're off the map, but at that point, I would rather not accidentally fall through the map. Yep, increased my blood berries. Ember berries increase. And again, the main reason we're doing this is because we have that bonus today. It does not happen all the time. It does happen, but there is a hidden mechanic behind it that I am not 100% understanding of, and because I don't understand how to know when that stuff's gonna happen, I take advantage of it whenever I have it. Not to mention, again, stuff like the ember berries disappear when the season changes, so gathering as many as you can before the season is out is absolutely crucial to surviving the seasonal change. And we have cleared the 1 hour mark, so I do believe we're just gonna go for the full 2 hours today, enjoying Teddy's Haven. It is, again, an absolute treat. Something that, if you just need something happy and calm to play, just, I know a lot of people wouldn't recommend it unless it's on sale. If it is on sale, I would highly recommend picking up, but if it's not on sale, it might not be your style, because as you see, there are a lot of repetitive behaviors, and the simple case in point is it's taken me this long to get everything going, and I've got the advantage of knowing quite literally where most everything is, because I've been playing this for a dozen hours over the weekend, because the family was sick and just none of us were feeling really up to getting anything done around the house. Up for home. Ghost berries. They are absolutely an important part of everything. You can get eggs, but I have very rarely found a good use for them. I don't know why. I feel like they should be a lot more useful. I feel like you should be able to do, like, entire cakes or something. But you can't, so it is what it is. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take advantage, if every day I can get 1,000 gold for visiting that monument, I think I'm going to do it, just to, really kickstart the whole process. Do we have any paint? Nope. Paint. We can't afford paint. Well, let me see. That expansion at 14, that will not be a good use of my financial capabilities. Make more jam. And then as I get a little bit more money, we're gonna go here, go here. Oh, you can also upgrade your, like, jammery, I guess, skill, basically, and make it so that you are making doubles. It is absolutely a treat, and something one should not miss out on. Our little adventures are coming. I have debated setting up little market stalls and all that, but I'm good for right now. We did get our ram, yes. Our shiny ram. Sorry about that. Wife wanted to show me the little one just got her bath today. Come on, sell some things if I can. Yep. Now we are going to buy chandelier. And then some double shelves. And yes, I did forget to buy the paint, because what kind of intelligent person remembers to buy the entire thing he was meant to buy in the first place? And I get that painting this wall's a waste because I intend to expand, but for right now, it's fine. Yep, we've leveled up, and my hearing has gone out the window. Shelves. To our little scales. Not really worth anything. As far as I'm aware, you can't use them for anything. If you can, I haven't figured it out yet. We're making our little jams. I'm gonna wait until we have a little bit more money, and then we will be making bars. Crafting. Yeah, let's make bars. It's more interesting. Here, go to ores. Grab those. We're just gonna make a little bit here and there, and try to sell them as the days go on. Yep, our apple jam is out already because it is a crowd favorite. And again, the reason I have so little here is because I am avoiding buying stuff from the Book of Summoning. Yes, you can turn a nifty profit with it, but you also get like 100% of your profit by having the stuff sourced by yourself. Actually. Let's do a scale. I'm gonna go over here. Past the giant guy. And we will make an offering. And it is the offering of comfort. It's gonna give us a little honey crystal. I should probably be stockpiling those, but I'm not. The honey crystals are around that tree and a tree over there. They are useful for making honey plants. They will not, however, be used right away, because not really too worried about it. Take this here, increase it. We want to do a 2.5. Nice and big, nice and shiny. Help keep the ambient stuff up. Looks like we're fine on milk. That jam will run low, but as long as we keep picking up pieces every day, we should be fine. And, you know, for the most part, this little earth fairy will take care of everything relatively well on their own. But we have another 200. Now, while I could save the money and then use it towards the auto harvester, having ores at your fingertips does actually end up working out just a little bit better, especially because I know that within 2 days I will be good. The aquarium, as far as I can tell, doesn't do anything right now, so there's no point in buying it. This, the Glow Harvest Spire, is absolutely useful, just not at this exact moment. Get another jam pot. That jam pot, we are going to give ghost berries because they are one of the most available berries during this season. And it helps increase your fruit work. And that's one of the tricks, is getting your stuff leveled as quickly as possible. If you can level things quickly, you will do amazing work. And the only reason I'm going so heavy into the fruits and jams is because, given what I have seen with them, the value is just exponential profit. The trick is keeping them stocked, because if you don't pay attention, you will run out very, very quickly. And eventually I'll get bigger shelves and I'll make an entire, like, jam department, and I'll become basically like a small little supermarket, which is absolutely adorable for a game like this. But you see how quickly the profit increases when you have all these bonuses adding up. Like, the day's not technically done yet, and I've already made more money than I'm gonna need for a lot of things. I don't think there's any more customers. I think that's the last one. Let's see. Yep, a couple things here and there. And at this point, I'm just making, you know, a couple bucks. I'm not actually turning a massive profit this late at night. A lot of my more valuable items are already sold. Kind of how it works. We'll let him restock. And once he's done restocking, we will go to bed. The main reason we're going to bed is so we can do it all again in the morning. Spring day 4. Oof. I believe there's like 15 days in a season. Hi, you are the Black Dragon. We will stock the shop in just a moment. Let's go say hi to our friend, and then get all of our bonuses together. I don't think any of the other... Yeah, I don't think anyone else showed up yet. Yep. Hi, I forget what you give me. Oh, you increase mining amount. So yeah, you are the mining expert for the day. I believe there are gigantic, like, rock golems that walk around. But I haven't seen one in a minute. Yes, Mr. Sheep. We will be going to see if we can get another 1,000 from the giant crystal. But first and foremost, we are going to come up here, see if any of the other super critters are out. And we're gonna go pick up our ram. I swear that floating island moves. And I know this because I've tried to get to it before. And every time I've tried to get to it, it's like just always gone right outside of reach. I don't know if there's anything on it. I really, really doubt it, but it's also right there. And I'm pretty sure it's moving. The way you get up to it, however, is with the crabs. Don't ask me why, but if you pick up the crabs that are on the beach, you will get quite a bit of it. I just remember there is the extra thing here. I can't believe I forgot that. That could have given me a little bit more royal peach. The giant squid that's like on the mountaintop, you can see. I believe if you're high enough up, you can see that it does exist before you ever see it in the mountains. Now, when it shows up, I haven't the foggiest idea. But I do know it shows up. Yeah, that is moving. Hi, let's get you, and while I'm over here, I will get my peaches, and circle around to get the ram. Because if you forget one day, it doesn't matter too much, especially if you have an excess. But if you just keep forgetting it, you will quickly learn the hard way that running out of inventory is a fate far worse than death. Running out of inventory is running out of money. Running out of money basically hurts a lot. Because then you spend a lot of time harvesting that you normally would only spend like a little bit here or there doing, and now you have to spend a lot of time doing it. Again, we're trying to bypass that by intentionally seeing if we can get 1,000 credits a day and using that to basically speed run into the auto harvester, because as silly as it sounds, saving up for one of those is absolutely worth it if you're selling either homemade or just home harvested items, because you don't always have time to come out here and do all this. And if you set enough of them up, you're basically set for life. I don't know if they work with the farm plots. They should. I believe the farm plots are either already unlocked and I just have to buy them, or they will be unlocking soon. Hey, buddy. Sorry, I had someone texting me. They told someone I could help them out with something. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't quoting them things they heard otherwise. I do believe I have to put a pause in here, however. Give me just a moment. I will run a little extra time. So give us just a moment, we will be back. Sorry about that. I had to explain to my wife that, no, you are not winning against a cat. Cats tend to be clever, and they tend to be smarter than you. Not always, but a lot of times. And she was like, oh, but our one cat who's not supposed to be in the bedroom got in the bedroom. And she's like, oh, if you use treats, you can get him out of there. He's not very clever. He's very easily manipulated. I'm like, no, he wants treats. And he knows that if he goes into the bedroom and hides under the bed, you will give him treats. Like, I don't think she realized she gave him exactly what he wanted. And basically just reinforced the behavior. It's like, okay, I guess, you know, it is what it is. And at this point, she has done it enough times, I don't think I would be able to get him to kick that habit. Let's see, if this works, this is absolutely a very lucrative way to, you know, get free cash. If not, it's a one-off extra 1,000, really helps kickstart your journey. You just have to have the mount or a bounce pad. Honestly, I would recommend the mount because it costs nothing. Haha, I knew it. the floating island does move. I've never seen anyone get up there. If you know anyone who's gotten up there and has a video for it, absolutely send me a link. I get the feeling there's nothing up there, but then again, it is very easy for me to be wrong because I haven't checked it for myself. It's weird when the resolution goes down, depth perception kind of goes with it, and it's like, oh, I'm not moving that fast, only to find out, yes, you are moving very, very, very fast. You do have to be careful. You can glitch through the ground, and I have ended up in that lake that's down below on more than one occasion, and I honestly, for the life of me, have no idea how I managed to do that so often. I think it's because areas like this, where there's nothing there to stop you, makes it very easy to fall through the ground. Okay. Onward and upward. Again, still have not seen the giant octopus that normally lives on like one of these mountains. And I've come out here quite a few times. I've only come out here twice to get the credits, and it was one time for each save. So let's see if I just wasted a whole bunch of time knowing I don't have, much time in my recording session for the day on a silly little premise that doesn't actually work. See? Is it a daily thing? Nope. It is a save game thing. Well, as much of a shame that is, it is to be understood. Okay, teleport home. I believe we have a mining bonus today, right? And we're going to use this mining bonus to our advantage because we need 500 stone to increase our foot traffic. As you can see, when you move quick enough, it is very easy to do. And later on, what I normally do is I'll put a obelisk right here in between everything, and it gives me a bunch of stone, a bunch of materials, all at once. So it does look like we have to earn our 2.5 grand ourselves, which actually isn't going to be too bad. I'm not going to say I wish I didn't spend the money, because I absolutely needed to spend that money because it's investing in the future. Being able to turn and make a bunch of jams doesn't seem like it helps a lot, but the more products you have, the more people buy. I don't know if that's just like coded or just coincidence, no idea. But as far as I've seen, more products you have, more people buy. Bigger your store, the more people show up. Eventually, you do hit a bit of a hard cap because I believe there is a limit to your expansion of your store. Like, nothing too crazy, but it does exist. And normally I wouldn't spend this much time of video just sitting here mining, but given the fact that I have the bonus, I'm gonna take advantage of it while I can. I believe I need 1,250 to do both projects, and then they will have their first sets done by tomorrow. You will eventually need specialized resources. Kinda is what it is. It also doesn't hurt having a bunch of extra special resources. You'll also see there are some stuff that you can only get in certain places, and it will be really convenient if you have it automated to get, simply because it's just a pain to get there. There are 2 rabbit things up there, and those 2 rabbit things give a special tuff that you can use to make a specific thread. But in order to do it, you need to go up there every day. And it's not always fun or convenient. Ooh. End of the trick, just keep your jams moving. You're not going to need every jam every day. Like, you shouldn't, in theory, be going through jam that much. If you are, it means you do not have enough of certain resources available for people. I believe that just gave me, what is it? Fruitworks amount 2. Awesome. Because now, aside from coming in here and putting down the jams I worked so hard on, and we will be holding off on putting out the metals, at least for right now. We're going to try to build up a nice little stockpile of it. And as you can guess, as you get to the point where you're getting duplicates of certain materials, it does make things very, very easy, because you can get, basically this goes and turns into technically 4. While you can't do 4 separate things, you can do 4 of these worth of material. I don't think there's anything else I want to be putting out. Not yet. We'll get there eventually. I'm going to save up for the $2,500 harvesting thing. Let's see. We will pay off our bills right away. Order of gardening. That is going to be a nice little bonus right there. Because while you do have to pay for the seeds, ow, While you do have to pay for the seeds, they go quite a long ways, especially when you get to your gardening being upgraded. Yeah. Not quite at the super profit, but we're doing okay. It's also nice having the store as expanded as I do, even though I don't have as many products out as I did in my other game. I am actually quite a bit further ahead this time, without taking any loans. When I played last time, I had to take loans in order to cover everything, and it got rough fast. Like, I could take both of these right now, get our upgrade, and go insane with it, but it wouldn't actually solve the problem. It would just kind of shift it down the road. Oh, there's our goose, or geese. But yeah, I'm looking at 210 plus 3, we'll say 355. You're looking at 565 every day, not counting the 230 for bills. You're almost looking at 800 to 900 every day. And that just, it don't fly. Dang it. That is why you need to be careful. Because it's very easy to accidentally grab produce and things like that just by misclicking. Since we will eventually get other produce, I'm gonna put the stuff out. And I just won't restock it. Okay. Now, since everything is gonna basically run itself, here. Come down here and go, hey, yes. Oh. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, over here, the fountain is gonna want, I believe it's some kind of metal. Oh, I should probably do blood crystals and all that while I have the time, because you can't really get them. Well, you can get them, but getting them when you have the upgrades is absolutely worth the effort. I can definitely tell the shop is starting to close for the night. Fine pebbleite. Okay. I believe I have that cooking right now, so come tomorrow, I can get the pebbleite. And we will just keep turning nice profit. working as carefully as we can. Let's see. Yeah. We're still doing okay. Some of our more valuable things have sold out, but it is what it is. Not putting the scales back. We're gonna hold on to the tough, only because it is very, very useful. Oof. That absolutely great for increasing what you're capable of doing, but at the end of the day, it might not be worth the fight. This idea, however, because again, normally I would avoid taking a loan, but that gives me the ability to set this up somewhere profitable. And I think in terms of stone, right there is one of the most profitable things. Scales are over there. The trees are right there. I think yeah, so long as I'm not wrong. I put that there. Oh, no, we do want to move it because now it encompasses berry bushes. And it may not seem like much, but extra berries here and there just automatically is absolutely worth it. Like if I put that right here, get apples for days. Problem is the apples don't make me a lot. That does. Because the metal can be all converted into different things. And each one is each mining site is actually worth a little bit else. Don't know why it's showing a third token. I definitely don't have a third token for tonight. Go to bed. Which, while it will get rid of my bonus, yeah, it gives us the option for another bonus. I also am an idiot, because I could have auto-mined the site simply by going... I would have mined that site last night and reset it today, because as you see, gained a bunch of different ores. Simply by virtue of existing. Let's see, Ember, Azul. There. There. And that. And can I put them away myself? Yes. Am I going to? No. Nightshade, green, peach, funny thing is, these aren't even like the craziest colors, because you see how that's a nice dark blue. You do get quite definitive, like, blackberry kind of things later, and that makes it so much easier to tell. And I will be avoiding that. Pay off our silly bill. And I call it a silly bill because the number is just weird. Now, let's see. No one there, no one there. No one there. If we come up here. I wonder. If I take and move this, will it just let me use it over and over again? If so, I will be abusing that religiously. Yes, it will. Okay. Hello. I am now going to take you and go insane. Now again, this is the most useless version of doing this, because you can do all this yourself. But, you know, saves me a little bit of time, especially near the house, and eventually you can set enough of these up far enough away from your house that it's no longer an issue. You just have it. Because if you have a bunch of these, when you go click, they all go off at once, and everything kind of just pays. I wonder if I go there, how much does that cover? Also, let's save. Push the button, wait for the bang. Boom. Cool. It does mean we don't increase our, like, mining XP, but if I'm not mistaken, the only thing we haven't reached is tending level 5, and that is going to take a minute anyway. And I can also acquire it by going here. I'm just doing that. Off. Place this there. Leave that. Oh. Okay. So, potion of health. Give it to the little bear. Because this, our friend, I probably broke everything by... No, there you go. Take care. Absolutely one of the most important things, because that gives so much more money just for existing. And we're gonna put that down there for now. And just watch it all go boom. Yep. Now later I'll start placing them all over the place, just as I have the credits for it. Still at level 1 of tending, so... Right? Yeah. And so we're going to go out of our way to tend to everything. Two. Yes, yes, yes. I understand you are a very loud, noisy creature. And I understand that. I'm going to quickly jump over there just to get the red, not wool, but like the red fox pelt thing. Oh, by the way, that purple thing is a purple unicorn that will show up in other places at random times. Don't ask me why, but it gives you the, like, dark variant of what that white unicorn gave you. And it is absolutely necessary to get all the vegetable and garden types. You'd think I'd be close, but it's not as close as you'd think. Thankfully, I believe there are the interesting turtles over here. There we go. Mortal. And instead of warping home, we are just going to fly. Okay. Let me go back, because the one reason I actually went out to the island, aside from the pelt, was the Princess Peaches. Sorry, the Royal Peaches. Which honestly just sounds, it actually sounds worse than Princess Peach, even though Princess Peach is copyright, only because, it sounds kind of like a D&D slang, and, D&D gets out of hand very quickly, very, very easily. Yeah, this field's probably amazing for just going very crazy. Now, one of of things is fruits, vegetables, stuff like that. You're not gonna know their prices until you have it. And sometimes that means you go through all the headache of making a special type of something, and it's just really not worth it. Other times you get just something that is so easy to make that you can stock your entire shop and not have to worry about it. Oh, 1, 2, div. There we go. I believe they also require like a crystallized version of the blue shards when they're done, and that's what gets the fountain running. Also, so over that way, there is another portal that, for the life of me, I haven't got a clue as to, the use of it. I don't know if I've gotten my RAM today, but it's easy enough to check, especially because I can teleport back. Oof, that weird noise got a little crazy. I'm also well over time, so we're gonna collect the upgrade from this, head back, and then we'll call it a night. Yep. And collect our RAM, and then before we actually start the day, we will call it a night. Okay. Teleport home. Have a good day, everyone. We will probably be doing this again on Wednesday. Tomorrow is a Minecraft day, and I will see you there. Goodbye.